The internet exploded into absolute chaos, and the love and hip-hop universe is reeling after Tasha K pulled a move no one saw coming. Without warning, she dropped what fans are calling the raw, uncut truth, an audio leak from that now infamous altercation between Ciara and Mendeecees, and if what's on that clip is even halfway legitimate, then everything we thought we knew about that scene just got flipped on its head for days. Social media had been buzzing whispers about what really happened on set, the yelling, the walkout, the accusation that Mendeecees made Ciara feel unsafe. But now, after this clip, it's mayhem because in the audio allegedly recorded backstage, you can hear Ciara laughing, not crying, not triggered, but calmly joking and plotting. "Watch how I flip this scene," she says in the clip. "I'm about to make this moment mine," and fans, they're shook. Some are calling her manipulative. Others are wondering if VH1 wasn't on it the whole time. Meanwhile, Mendeecees and Yandy have had enough. The couple, who until now stayed quiet, are reportedly furious that a narrative this twisted got aired in the first place. Tasha K didn't just leak the audio. She dissected it, time-stamped it, called people out by name. And now the fallout is deep, the cast is splintering, the fanbase is torn, and the entire franchise is on the verge of collapse. When Tasha uploaded that video, there was no screaming thumbnail, no bold letters. Just her in her studio, one brow arched, looking like she already knew she was about to throw a grenade into the love and hip-hop timeline. And the second you clicked, boom, receipts, commentary, destruction. She started slow, sipping her wine like she had time, like she wasn't about to wreck a whole season. "Now listen," she said. "I usually stay in my lane, unless you'll drag me in." Then she smiled. "But baby, when I heard this clip, I said, oh no, not him, not again." She leaned forward into the mic. "Let's get into it." And then she pressed play. The audio was grainy but clear enough. You could hear Ciara's voice, steady and almost amused, chatting with someone backstage. She was calm to calm. "I ain't scared of that man," she said, "but I know how to make it look like I am." The comment hit like a bullet. Screenshots flew across the internet. Fans captioned it, "Set up, caught in for K." She played him. Suddenly the whole narrative collapsed. That moment that had viewers crying out in solidarity? People were now calling it a script, and in the middle of the storm, Mendeecees, sitting at home next to Yandy, watching the entire thing unravel in real time. They didn't speak. The room was quiet, phones buzzing like alarms, the blinds drawn. Yandy pressed pause on the video and stared at the frozen screen. "She really said that?" she whispered. Mendeecees didn't answer. He leaned his head back, staring up at the ceiling like it had all just landed on him. "Even with proof, they'll still twist it," he muttered. Yandy didn't move. "Some people are finally seeing it," she said softly, but that didn't matter to him. The lie had already aired, the damage already done. Across social media, the floodgates were open. Fans were tagging VH1 in thousands of comments, demanding answers. Some wanted a retraction. Others wanted Ciara off the show completely, and many were asking the same question. How could the network let this lie go to air? VH1 stayed silent, but behind the scenes, panic, producers were scrambling. A meeting was called within hours. The episode was still in editing, but now everything was in jeopardy. One executive reportedly said, "If this clip goes public, and it looks like we aired a lie, it's over." Another asked if they should cut the scene, but it was already too late. The moment had gone viral through Tasha K, and no amount of re-edits could erase what had happened. Meanwhile, Ciara went dark. No posts, no lies, just silence. But the silence didn't stop the storm. Fans started digging. Old interviews resurfaced. Ones where Ciara described Mendeecees as too aggressive. People began questioning whether she'd been laying the groundwork for the story all season. Even fellow cast members started acting funny, liking shady tweets, posting cryptic messages. A makeup artist tweeted, "This why I always keep my camera rolling. People be acting." And while all of that brewed online, Mendeecees got a call. A producer he'd known for years, someone who'd always claimed to have his back. "We're trying to fix it," the voice said. But Mendeecees wasn't having it. "Fix what?" he snapped. "You watched her do it. You filmed it. You let it happen." The producer sighed. "We thought it would stay between y'all. This ain't a storyline." Mendeecees said, "This is my name, my family, my real life." And then he hung up. Yandy looked over at him, eyes full of hurt. "You good?" she asked. He nodded. "But it was a lie. I just want to know when telling the truth stopped being enough." Hours later, Tasha K came back with part 2, another clip, another bomb. This time, Ciara could be heard saying, "Watch me flip this whole moment. I'm not scared, but I know how to act." Tasha was visibly disappointed. "See, this right here," she said, "is why real victims don't get believed. This is dangerous." The new video took off even faster. Celebrities were reacting. Influencers were reposting. Even gossip blogs who usually stayed neutral were chiming in. The outrage had grown beyond Mendeecees. Now the spotlight was on production, on VH1. On the question everyone was too afraid to ask, has reality TV gone too far? Yandy went live that night, her face calm, her voice steady. But you could see it in her eyes, pain, betrayal, exhaustion. I didn't want to speak until I had facts, she said. But now that I've heard the footage, now that the truth is out, I'm hurt as a wife, as a mother, as a woman. I'm hurt that my husband's name was dragged like that. I'm hurt that the people we worked with didn't protect him. And I'm hurt that anyone would use fear to create a storyline. The comments came pouring in. Hearts, prayers, apologies. We see you now. We were wrong. We're sorry, Mendeecees. But under all the love, a new whisper started rising. If Sierra orchestrated this, who helped her? Sierra's silence had officially turned into suspicion. People weren't just confused anymore. They were angry, the accusations, the timing, the way she smiled backstage in that leaked clip. It all smelled manipulative. The internet wanted answers. But behind the scenes, Sierra wasn't panicked. She was pissed, not at herself, not at what she said, but at Tasha K, at whoever dared leak that clip, and at the network for treating Mendeecees like the victim while she was left to fend for herself. In her mind, she didn't fabricate anything. She felt what she felt. Even if the delivery was dramatic, even if the scene looked calculated, that was still her truth. It wasn't a lie. It was emotion mixed with performance, and that had always been enough in this industry. But now she was losing the grip on her own story. One of her close friends, someone from her glam squad, quietly pulled her aside. Girl, the internet's turning. You might want to speak. Sierra clenched her jaw. Say what? That I didn't mean it? That it wasn't real, because it was. Maybe not how they heard it, but it was real to me. Her friend didn't back down. They don't care about how it felt, Sierra. They care about how it looks, and right now, it looks like you lied. Sierra didn't respond. She just scrolled her phone in silence, watching her endorsements disappear in real time. By sunrise, one beauty sponsor had quietly paused their campaign. A fashion boutique archived every post from their collaboration. No statements were made, but the message was loud. They were out, and while Sierra's world unraveled, Yandy's support soared. Fans were reposting her speech, praising her for staying poised, for standing beside Mendeecees when the world had turned on him. This is what love looks like, one fan wrote. This is what a real woman does. But Yandy wasn't basking in admiration. She was still hurting, because no amount of love from the public could erase what they'd been put through. Not emotionally, not professionally. The network finally reached out again, and this time, it wasn't just a field producer, it was someone high up in executive. They wanted a meeting. We want to talk about moving forward, they said. What we can do to make it right? Mendeecees listened carefully. Fine, he said. But I'm saying my piece on camera. No cuts, no producers feeding me lines. Just me, one take, unedited. The executive hesitated, like a confessional. No, he replied. Like a statement, the truth. That's the only way I come back. They agreed. The next morning, Mendeecees showed up. No glam, no lights. Just a stool, a mic, and one camera rolling, and he spoke. I've made mistakes, he said. Everyone knows that. I did my time. I've owned it. I came back to this show to show who I am now. Not who I was. But these last few weeks, they broke something in me. Because it showed me how easy it is for someone to throw dirt on your name and walk away clean. And how hard it is to wash that dirt off, even if it's a lie. His voice cracked, just barely, and then he bowed his head. That was it. They cut. The footage went to legal. But the internet didn't wait. Clips of Tasha K's audio were everywhere, stitched into TikToks, overlaid with fan commentary, backed by dramatic music. Hashtag Justice for Mendeecees was trending on multiple platforms. People were calling out Sierra, calling out VH1, and even comparing this controversy to moments on other franchises' manufactured drama, reality show bait. Meanwhile, in a quiet corner of Atlanta, Erica Mena was watching. She hadn't posted, hadn't commented, hadn't breathed a word since the leak. But she'd been watching everything. And when she finally broke her silence, it wasn't with a video or a statement, just a simple black screen. White text. Seen this play out before. Just different names, no tags, no context. But everyone knew who she meant. The comment section exploded. Some begged for more, others praised her for speaking out. Within minutes, the blogs picked it up. They didn't need confirmation. The subtext was loud. Erica had history with Mendeecees and Yandy. Backstage tension. Arguments that nearly turned physical. Publicly, she'd moved on. But privately, she'd never forgotten. And now she was pouring gasoline on a fire that was already out of control. Tasha K responded quick. In her next video, she didn't hold back. So now Erica wanna jump in? She said, sipping her wine. Where was that energy when she had her own drama with Mendeecees? Now she wanna act like she knew all along? Girl? Bye. The internet lit up again. Some sided with Erica, saying she had every right to speak on what she experienced. Others said she was just chasing headlines. But one thing was clear. Her post had reignited the entire mess. Mendeecees saw the post, he didn't like it. Didn't comment. But he knew what it meant, another wave was coming. And it wasn't going to be clean. Yandy, on the other hand, was livid. She called the network immediately. Did you approve her to come back on camera? She asked. Is she filming again? The producer hesitated. No. She just posted. That's it, don't lie to me, Yandy said coldly. Tell me the truth. There was a pause. Then, it's a big moment, Yandy, we'd be stupid not to consider it. Yandy hung up. No goodbye. No warning. Across the city, Sierra had just read Erica's post too, and for the first time in days. She smiled. She messaged her directly. Appreciate you. Erica replied, do you, sis? And just like that, a new alliance formed. It wasn't friendship, not even loyalty, just strategy. In this world, it wasn't about who you liked. It was about who could survive the next scandal. And Sierra needed someone. Especially now, with Tasha K still on the attack. Because Tasha wasn't done. Her next video, a whole new level this time. She didn't drop set footage, she dropped a phone recording. Allegedly, a member of the makeup team had recorded a conversation with a producer admitting that Sierra was playing the game for visibility. She knows how to create a moment, the producer said. He didn't even do anything. But the way she sold it, genius. Tasha paused the video and stared into the camera. Genius? Y'all calling it genius to ruin a black man's image. On national TV, to have his wife break down on live, to sit back and call it entertainment. No. I call it sick. That video became her highest viewed episode of the year. The pressure on VH1 skyrocketed. Publicists were scrambling, internal emails were leaking, and while the network said nothing, fans noticed that the next episode had been delayed. Technical reasons, they claimed. No one believed it. Meanwhile, Mendeecees wasn't asking for revenge. He didn't want a takedown or a spin. He wanted one thing, accountability. Just say it, he whispered to a friend. Say it wasn't right. Say I didn't deserve this. But the silence remained, so Yandy took matters into her own hands. She booked an interview, not with a gossip blog, but a respected outlet. Neutral, journalistic, clean, no twists, no mess, just her truth. My husband's name was dragged through the mud, she said on camera, all because of a moment built on lies. People didn't wait to hear the truth, they just believed what was shown to them, and now that the truth is out, where's the apology? Where's the accountability? That clip went viral. Headlines quoted her directly. Fans reposted it everywhere, but somewhere behind that storm of support, Sierra watched in silence, boiling, not because she regretted what happened, but because the moment she had worked so hard to shape had slipped out of her hands. And when she finally sat down with producers again, the walls came crashing in. Y'all let this happen, she said, voice shaking. You told me to speak my truth. Now I'm getting death threats. The producer didn't flinch. We told you to be honest. No one told you to lie. Sierra shot back. I didn't lie. I didn't think it would turn into this. He looked at her for a long time, but it did. And across town, Erica quietly hit go live. For the first time since this entire firestorm began, Erica Mena went live and the internet snapped to attention. Thousands poured in within seconds, waiting, watching, holding their breath. But instead of going off, she started slow, measured, calm. I wasn't gonna say anything, honestly. I wasn't, she said, her voice low and tired. But I've been watching all this play out. And it's been triggering, not just for me, for a lot of us. She stared at the screen. We've all seen what happens when a storyline takes somebody's whole life and flips it upside down. I'm not saying Sierra lied, I'm just saying sometimes people say stuff on camera that they wouldn't say in real life. She sipped her drink, eyes locked on the screen, and just like that, she ended the live. No closure, no explanation. But the comment section erupted anyway. Half the viewers were demanding clarification. The rest were filling in the blanks. Themselves, by sunrise, Mendeecees had made his decision. He turned to Yandy and said, if they want me back on camera, they need to show everything. The call, the clips, the truth, or I'm done for good. She nodded, no hesitation. Because at this point, it wasn't about fixing a story, it was about facing the one they buried. At VH1 headquarters, the pressure was boiling inside a dim editing suite. 3 producers sat silently in front of massive monitors, scrubbing through hours of raw footage, not the cut-for-TV version, not the flashy confessionals. The raw truth. Room audio, real reactions, unscripted tension, and what they saw shook them. Sierra walking into the scene with an eerie calm. waiting until the cameras rolled before she said a word. Mendeecees. Confused, trying to respond in real time, the moment she paused dramatically and said, "You made me feel like you could." That deliberate break in her voice. That hesitation. One of the producers leaned back and finally said what none of them wanted to voice. "This doesn't feel honest." It wasn't about whether she felt something, emotions are messy. But the delivery, the staging, the contradiction between the footage and the final edit, it reeked of manipulation, and now the producers had to decide to chase the ratings or take the hit. Meanwhile, Sierra had gone completely silent. No statements, no reposts. But behind closed doors, she was spiraling. What she thought would make her look strong had made her look shady. Pages that once promoted her were muting comments. Clips from past cast fights were resurfacing. Blogs were building timelines that painted her as a habitual manipulator. Her team tried to get ahead of it, booking a safe interview with a mid-tier blog, but it backfired. The questions hit harder than expected. Why wait to bring this up? Why do it on camera and do you regret how you said it? Her answer sounded stiff, memorized. The internet could smell the performance, and they didn't like it. In this era, people don't just want a good story, they want the truth. And her version of it wasn't landing. In contrast, Mendeecees' quiet appearance on a podcast was gaining traction, not because he clapped back, but because he didn't. He just told his truth, plain and simple. And that restraint hit harder than any rant ever could. Fans began shifting, not because they suddenly loved him, but because his calmness made Sierra's drama look louder. Back at the network, things were getting ugly. Crisis meetings were no longer about saving a season. They were about saving a brand. With sponsors watching, someone floated a risky idea, a film sit-down. No glam, no editing. Just Mendeecees and Sierra, face-to-face, unfiltered. But it couldn't be messy. It couldn't be for TV. They needed someone neutral, a respected therapist who had worked on other reunions, someone both sides could trust. The producers made the call. They pitched it not as drama, but as resolution. A chance to move forward. At first, Mendeecees let the call go to voicemail. He didn't trust them, not after everything. But later that night, he called back. "I'll do it," he said. "But I'm not gonna act. I'm not gonna defend myself again if she lies. I'm walking." The next day, Sierra agreed to, not out of remorse, but because she saw the backlash snowballing. Her name was slipping, and this might be the last chance to catch it. They met in a small rented studio near downtown Atlanta. No lights, no set, just 2 chairs, 2 water bottles, and a licensed mediator sitting between them. No producers, no prompt cards. No second takes, just reality. It began slow. Sierra spoke first about her past, about men who made her feel powerless, about the trauma that never fully left. "Sometimes when a man raises his voice," she said, "it takes me back. Even if he's not trying to scare me, I go there. I can't help it." Mendeecees listened quietly, arms folded. Then he responded. He talked about rebuilding after prison, about the weight of being judged for a past he already paid for, about walking into every room knowing he's already being seen as dangerous. Then he looked at her straight on. "You said I made you feel unsafe, and I can respect how you felt. But you also knew how that would sound when you said it on camera. You knew what people would think, and you let it happen." She blinked, silent. "Did I lean in? Yeah. Was I upset? Sure. But I never threatened you. You made it sound like I did." For the first time since this all began, she looked shaken. "I didn't think it would go this far," she whispered. "I didn't want to destroy your name." "But you did," he replied. The room went still. The mediator stepped in gently. "Would either of you be willing to acknowledge each other's pain without denying your own?" It was the first real pause in the entire conversation, and then something shifted. Sierra nodded, then Mendeecees. It wasn't forgiveness, not even understanding, but it was something. When the network aired the footage, they kept their promise. No edits, no music, no drama. Just 2 people, 2 truths, 1 raw conversation. And the fans, they responded in waves. Some were angry, some were relieved, but most were quiet, reflective. This felt real. One viewer wrote, "This is what reality TV is supposed to be." VH1 pushed the footage with 1 line. "When the cameras stop, the truth begins." And that was that. Mendeecees didn't post after, no selfies, no hashtags. He disappeared back into his life, spending more time with his kids, staying offline, trying to breathe. Sierra went quiet too, not from shame, but from realization. Those close to her said something changed. Her tone, her presence, her understanding of how fast this industry can turn on you. And while the next season eventually resumed, nothing was quite the same. Cast members got more guarded, producers became more cautious, fans questioned everything. And nobody, not even the most seasoned reality stars, trusted the process like they used to, because this wasn't just another love and hip-hop moment, this was a reckoning. A lesson in how one sentence, said on the wrong day, in front of the wrong lens, can wreck everything. If you're still here, still watching, still processing all of it, then you already know this was bigger than drama. This was real. And now it's your turn. Do you think Sierra crossed a line? Did Mendeecees handle it with grace or just restraint? Did VH1 push it too far? Or was this just the price of playing the reality TV game? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read it all. And if you want more unfiltered truth on your favorite cast members, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because on Love and Hip Hop, what happens on set never stays there.